When you walk through the aisles at Toys R Us, you most likely see children asking for this toy or that doll. When Bill Culbertson takes that same walk, his eyes are on the shelves, on his children, his creations, waiting there patiently to be bought. He's designed for Sesame Street, Hasbro, and Disney, as well as maintaining a successful fine arts career. Please welcome Big Bird's father, Bill Culbertson.
Hi.
Welcome to the show. Thanks for making time for us today. Sure. You know, I never really thought about the fact that somebody was actually making these little characters. I kind of thought that once they existed the first time, they were just, I don't know, magically reproduced. But you're working very hard on all these little shapes.
Yeah, it's funny because when I was a kid, I loved toys, and to me, toys just existed. Nobody created them; they just exist. So it's been a big transformation in my life.
Is there a character that you especially like?
No, I like them all.
You do?
Have to, or I couldn't put everything into them.
Do you think about their personalities as you sculpt them?
Yeah, I really do. Usually what will happen is a company will send drawings that are approved by the licensor that has to be sculpted. And, you know, I think about what the character's doing. Like Elmo here, is he really enjoying that bath? Well, you have to put yourself in Elmo's personality, the way he is on the show, and what do you do? So try and make that come through.
Yeah. Do you make what do you sculpt out of clay?
Do the initial sculpture in clay, and then make a rubber mold and either cast it in wax or a polyester resin, and that's when all the hard work comes in, cleaning them up.
Yeah. And what types of do you just do the things that end up being plastic toys?
Pretty much. There's several types of molding. There's injection molding, rotational molding, and blow molding, and each type of molding has different parameters so that you can get the piece of plastic out of the mold successfully. So depending on what type of molding it is, that's the type of thing I do. Some things I'll do plastic parts that get attached to cloth parts for plush toys, things like that, but pretty much plastic.
Describe your work for us at the Sesame Street Park in Mexico.
The park in Mexico was the first time I'd worked on stuff for a theme park, and I knew the Sesame Street characters really well, so they thought, oh, this would be a good marriage of sculptor and the things they needed done. And it was quite an adventure. We did, I think it was 28 pieces, and
looks like great fun.
Yeah, oh, it was.
There's Big Bird.
Well, that's the Mexican version of Big Bird. He's Abelardo. This is Beto, or Bert. He's a lifeguard at a kiddie pool, and he was computer controlled. He had he twirled his whistle and flipped his tongue and watched the kids and make sure nobody has an accident.
Do you look for subtle differences between the work that you do with these characters and other artists who are commissioned to do the same? I mean, can you tell, now that's definitely
Sure.
my Zoe.
There's probably under a half dozen people that are basically doing the Sesame Street, say. And I can go into the store and see, okay, I know who did that one, I know who did that one. We all do the feathers a little differently and all that, but we're still trying to keep things together so that everybody's doing the same thing.
What's the project that you're doing for the Shepherd Building in downtown Providence? Because you were commissioned by the Rhode Island State Council on the Arts for that.
Right. What I'm doing there is...
it's not going to be any of the Sesame Street characters.
No. Fine art's totally different from the toys. I'm doing historical pieces that represent the history of the Shepherd store over the time it was open. And they're going to be displayed in the windows along where the old department store windows were.
So that's a little something of what it might look like.
This is one of the pieces that's going to be inside. It goes underneath the staircase, and hopefully in a month and a half you'll be able to go see them.
What other fine arts work are you involved with? Because you do kind of have two very separate careers going.
Different personalities going.
Yeah.
I do stuff on the computer. Did some stuff. Well, this is some pieces that I do for fine art for shows and things. Then it's a contrast of man and technology and time. They're machines that sort of do things and they sort of don't do things, and you start to feel there's something there and try and get into it.
Now, your project at Water Place Park, was that a combination also because it serves a function?
That was for Convergence, the festival they have, and they're down right in the water basin, and they're poles. They have lights on them that as it gets darker, they come on. They go from a white to a blue, and by 10, 11 o'clock, they're really glowing.
Will they stay there, or is it just a summertime?
Well, they're supposed to be there for a year, and we'll see after that. It's up to the city, I think.
How do you have a preference in your two careers? Sesame Street and the other toys that you do versus the fine arts aspect?
Just that there's not enough time to do both the way I'd like to do them.
So it's not like, oh, I do this because I the Sesame Street and the other characters. I do that because I have to get some money in the bank account, but it's the other aspect that really drives me creatively.
I'd still be doing it if I was getting enough money from the fine art.
Would you?
Sure, I love it.
Have your kids enjoyed the fact that you've made toys?
To them, they've grown up. It's normal. We'll have to wait and see if they consider it's a job or that's just something Dad does.
Dad does out in the
nuts.
workshop.
He does that.
Are they artistic?
Yep. Both of them are.
All right. Well, thanks again for coming today.
Thank you for having me.
Rhode Island's own Lily Tomlin. We've got the Rhode Island woman whose one-woman show knocked him dead in New York and Los Angeles when we return.